truth? Are you tired of being so confused? You feel like you're more fucked up than the lies on the evening news? Well, just step right in. We can talk about it all as friends. And if you want, we can hug and kiss and make up for the party ends. Agree or disagree, stop offering me. 'Cause I'm everything you want, damn sure what you need. I won't tell no lies, back up all the facts with truth. And if you can't get down with that, you must be somebody's dog. Come on, man. Can you feel the pain? Into him now. About this new world. Ain't no drag. Papa's got a brand new eye.
Hey everybody, it's T.S. Dixon, author of The Woke Mind Viruses. And I want to tell you that I'm pleased to be part of The Dumb Show, the Don't Unfriend Me show that you can find every weeknight at 7 p.m. on social media at The Dumb Show or on their website, thedumbshow.com. See you there.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
Liv, it feels like I just did this.
It does.
Oh gosh, you know, it's I don't mind Saturday news. It happens sometimes and things break out. Like the Tennessee bomber was on a Saturday. Trump assassination attempt was, I think, on a Sunday. And let's see, start of the Ukraine war. That
was a Saturday.
Yeah. So just, you know, things like that happen, and you know, it is what it is. It's part of the game. But it certainly makes for what was already a long week, a much longer week. Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show, folks. Olivia and Matt Spear here tonight, and something rare. Olivia wearing black, dark blue, and I'm wearing black. That doesn't happen very often. May 1st, Friday, Damani Felder will be in the house. May 7th, Jeremy Mitchell. He is marketer extraordinaire, good friends with Chris Tonto Pronto, serviceman, does close quarter combat training, CQB tactics, all that type of stuff with Chris, and he's a great dude. T.S. Dixon, who you saw the commercial here, will be here May 15th. Then Ryan Weaver on May 26th, huge, having Ryan in the house. And then Ryan Samuels, a good friend we haven't seen in a while. And then also another great friend is Dave Bondi, someone else who will be here, a huge reporter. Up in the Michigan area, and he's been on the show before. He's fantastic. So, and then Laura Logan, and then Chicks on the Right, and then the Grassroots podcast too.
Podcast just reached out to me today, so I was unfortunately super busy, so couldn't reach out to him, but I will reach out to him tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then Terry from Spreely sent us some info on somebody that I need to reach out to as well. So
yeah, cool. I mean, you know, it's pretty neat, pretty exciting. So anybody else? Or is that pretty much it for it? I got to do this window.
It for the time being. But we're always looking for more people.
Yeah. So if you have anyone in mind, let us know.
Yeah, please let us know. Email me, Olivia at thedumbshow.com. But I do need a contact info, not a website. So
They know you hate that. You don't need to go off on it every time you do it, because every time you do. They got it. They're going to give you the right thing, and if they don't, they're going to answer to me, and I'm going to take care of them. I promise. I'm right here. What else is exciting and new? Anything new?
No, but I made it to the top 15, so you can vote for me.
Oh, did you make it again?
No, I guess it's the same thing.
Where are you ranked?
5th as of right now.
Well, we better get that link out there. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Let's get your thing out there. Get that going. Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me Show once again. If folks, you can help with the show. You can see donation clock is up. $300 is what we're going for tonight. You can also get yourself some swag. You might see this banner that's going to be changing up on the top, and use code DUMB10 gets you 10%, and all of our clothes that we wear on the show and that we have, coffee, everything else we use ourselves. It's high quality stuff. You'll understand when you get it. I'm not going to sit there and try to sell it to you. Just go over there and just do me one favor. Buy one shirt. I promise you this. You'll never buy t-shirts from anywhere else again, or you will personally reach out to me and say, Matt, will you make me this shirt? And I want this style in this shirt, please. Because that's what always happens, unless it's like some, I don't know, weird thing. What the hell? Why is it doing this? Why is Instagram screwed up? Can you check it and see?
Yes.
Check and see if it's right or wrong. Oh, that sucks.
Let me see on my phone. That would be.
Yeah, just check it. Sorry. It was broadcasting right, wasn't it? Did I not change it in the thing? Is it my fault? I think it's my fault.
It's because it's doing horizontal, not vertical.
Okay.
So it's just on your page. It looks funky, but on my phone.
All right. Linda Kelly, thank you for subscribing. Instagram people, I'm so sorry. It's going to look better next time. It'll be in vertical for some reason. It wasn't working the last few nights, and I changed the system, and it's my fault. Blame me. You can see our arms though. See, we'll do this chicken wings. Can we do chicken wings? Okay, they'll see that in like 5 minutes.
What?
So it's running.
I don't know which one it is.
You did the wrong chicken wing?
I did. Well,
it's the one that's on the side of your sign.
Yeah,
your
it's
mic
the one
flag.
with the tattoo. So that's how I know which one it is. There it is. Yep.
There's your chicken wing. Mm-hmm. All right, let's get to it. We got a busy night tonight, and we've got Colorado Avalanche swept the Los Angeles Kings 4 games to none. Colorado advances along with Carolina as the first team in the NHL to sweep and get some rest. I'm a big proponent of rest is more important than rust. So rust being the more time you take off, you get a little rusty, and rest is you get healthy. I'm all about rest. So excited about that. And then so we'll be facing either the Dallas Stars or Minnesota. They're going to beat the hell out of each other probably for 7 games. I think Minnesota's going to pull out that series after what they just did last game. We'll see what happens. I hope so too. And then let's see, Diablo launches tonight, which we talked about not coming on, but we know how launches are. They sometimes are pretty buggy. So we
just love you guys. That's why we chose to come
That's
on.
a complete lie. That's a complete lie. You should make a shirt for the 250-year celebration. I will. That's a great question. Liv, will you write that down? 250 and the red hat and the 250-year celebration shirt. I'll make them both. Thank you. We'll get that done. Let's get going. We got a bunch of stuff to do.
The Red Friday hat?
Red Friday hat and the 250 celebration design. I'm going to do a design for the 250 celebration. I just got to get it done. And you're right. That would be a great shirt to do. Okay, let's get started. We're busy, folks. We got a lot to do. One thing. Want to thank Leslie Dreisen for throwing us $25 the other night. She watched the Friday show or Saturday show. Wanted to say thank you for doing that. We missed it, but that got in over the weekend, so wanted to tell her thank you for that.
Yes,
thank you. Yeah. So, all right, let's move on. Carolyn Levitt has some choice words. We're going to talk a little bit. It's going to be interesting. Usually I try to do segments and blocks where we'll do all the same topic in one shot. Well, the assassination is going to go through the entire show. The assassination attempt, is going to go through the entire show. And the reason why is because everything's about that. Even things that are unrelated to that are about that. And let's go ahead and watch Carolyn Levitt. Here we go.
Much of the manifesto of the would-be assassin is indistinguishable from the words that we hear daily from so many. For example, as the First Lady of the United States pointed out this morning, just 2 days prior to the shooting, ABC's late-night host Jimmy Kimmel disgustingly called First Lady Melania Trump an expectant widow. Who in their right minds says a wife would be glowing over the potential murder of her beloved husband? And having experienced what I did with the First Lady on Saturday night, I can tell you that she was anything but that. This kind of rhetoric about the president, the First Lady, and his supporters is completely deranged, and it's unbelievable that the American people are consuming it night after night after night. As President Trump said on Saturday night at this podium, we as Americans must recommit ourselves to resolving our differences peacefully and uniting around the shared values that make our country great. The deranged lies and smears against the president, his family, his supporters have led crazy people to believe crazy things, and they are inspired to commit violence because of those words. It has to stop.
So she also has a reaction here in a little bit, but I think it's important to focus on this because I think there's some very damaging and horrendous application of liberal bullshit taking place. And here's a couple things. One is that Stephen Miller used his wife and her baby as a body shield and got behind her and used her body as a shield. It's complete bullshit. It's absolutely complete bullshit. When Stephen Miller, he goes last and puts her in front of him.
That's Carolyn Levitt's husband?
No, Stephen Miller. So, another conversation.
Okay.
Stephen Miller puts her in front because the shooter is at the 6 o'clock position. If the shooter is anywhere, the shooter's at the 6 o'clock in the banquet doors. So the ballroom doors. So he puts his hands on her tummy, one hand on tummy, which is right under her breast. And they're like, oh, he's trying to cop a feel. Listen, you degenerate cocksuckers. Oh, sorry. You people are literally the devil. And the only reason I can say that is because you're soulless. And the only thing that's soulless on the planet are demons. You have to be demons. Are you kidding me? This is a woman who is pregnant. And this video shows exactly what he does. And he protects her, and they are huddled together. He has his arms wrapped around her, and he has her to his chest, and he's looking at the doors as Secret Service is wrapped over the both of them. And they're saying that he was using his wife as a human shield, which is a complete lie. Here's the video. Stand by. It's pretty simple. He's looking at the doors, as is Secret Service looking to the other side. Two Secret Service agents. One Secret Service has him covered. You can tell by his gold lapel pin. The other guy is an HVT, high value target. He's just a VIP, not an HVT. Sorry, jeez. And his beautiful wife is terrified, pregnant. And he's doing exactly what he should do, which is protect her and look for the threat. And then stands up, puts his back to the door, goes last, and keeps her in front of him like all body men do. And he's been trained. One hand on shoulder, fire hand free. Left hand goes on shoulder, depending upon what position you're in. If you're on the left side, you put left hand, draw hand free. If you're on the right side, it's left hand, draw hand free. If you're a lefty, reverse it. And you push. Olivia, I've shown you how to do it. Mm-hmm. I've shown you when we're clearing the house. You stack men, same way when you're protecting an asset. And that's what he does. He protects his wife, his beloved wife. In no way, shape, or form did he put her at risk. It's a lie. It's a blatant lie. And then they said Kash Patel, his girlfriend, that he dodged and left her alone. That's not true, because if you look, she's right there in the purple dress, and she's down in between his legs and his hands and on his chest, and the chair's blocking, and he is covering her as well. And lastly, when President Trump stumbled, remember we saw him fall when he came out? He tripped over Melania. Melania went under the table. And if you look, she crawled in trying to get to the curtains. And the body team for Trump picks him up and goes, and then he stumbles, and you see two Secret Service agents go down with Trump, blocking a wall of people. That's Melania getting picked up and getting taken with them. So once again, blatant lies from the left, doing what the left always do. Your thoughts on this? You got to kind of see it posthumously from when I did, but your thoughts on this?
I think that the media is 100% to blame. Actually, no, they're 50% to blame, and the Democrat Party is the other 50% blame, because congressmen and women and senators and governors and mayors and anyone who's got a D, well, not anyone, because there are a handful of moderate Democrats, but the majority of the Democrats out there are spreading the rhetoric that Donald Trump is Hitler, that Donald Trump is evil. And this has been going on for 10, almost 11 years now, because it started in June of 2015 when he walked down the escalator. And he was running as a Republican. It started then. So people have been hearing this for almost 11 years. And when you tend to have leftist leaning of ideology, you're a little impressionable, and they believe stupid stuff.
Right. They want him dead.
And they
just say
are,
it.
yeah, well, they are believing what they are hearing by people that they look up to. And so they are acting on what they think their leaders are telling them to do.
And the sad thing is that this is the other thing. Republicans look to their people for representation. Liberals look to their politicians for leadership. Mm-hmm. There's the difference. This is why we don't go out and do this shit. Oh, but J6. Oh, okay. Right. J6. Right. That's even remotely comparable to what we're talking about.
The one.
Read that. Read that. Just read that. Just give me a little synopsis. Wow, we're starting to get sponsorship requests. Huh. Let's hold on to it.
Okay.
And we'll see.
Okay.
We're all about sponsorships if the quality of the product's good. If it's not, we don't want it. It's all about good. Anyway, we just get emails now, and it's like something we've never experienced. Like people inviting us to come onto their show or vice versa. Now we're getting sponsorship opportunities. It's nice. No. They want to kill. They want to see Trump dead. That's it. I am very hard pressed to believe that 70% of the Democratic Party wants to see him dead or wish him harm. It's really hard for me to believe that that's not the case, because I look at the polling numbers and I look at the responses to some of this stuff, and it's really hard for me to believe. Moderates, middle of the road people, I think they're good. And I'll even say probably 20% of Republicans wanted to see something bad happen to Biden. Fine, I'll give you the number. If at all. I've never heard, listen, I have never heard any ill wishes towards Biden. Even when we put up his cancer announcement, nobody said anything negative. But oh my God, the stuff that I'm seeing out there is just absolutely insane on Trump. It's absolutely insane. But these people are evil. They're evil. Mm-hmm. They're demons. Here is a video to prove it, because I brought the receipts. It's interesting. Crowder and I are like Crowder and I don't know what's going on. But Steven, you need to call me.
Brother from another mother.
Like there's something, they're like secret love.
The bromance going on here.
What we are. It's something, dude, because everyone keeps going, God, man, you remind me of Crowder. I wonder why, because all of our content's the same. Like everything, dude, I put this video out before him. I got the timestamp to prove it. I put it out at 10:04 this morning. And then around 11:20, I see this Crowder video and I'm like, holy crap, this is awesome. This is what we've been talking about for 3.5 years, about the insane, ridiculously stupid alt-right phenomena that's going on right now. And they are just as bad as the left. Here's a quick video, then we'll play Crowder's, which is actually really good. Here it is.
You know, every damn election, they dust off the same old tired fairy tale. Republicans are the party of violence, the angry mob, the racist, the threat to everything decent. Give me a break. This is the side that struts around in love and tolerance robes while the body count keeps climbing. Abraham Lincoln, first Republican president, the guy who ended slavery, assassinated by a Confederate sympathizer tied to the pro-slavery Democrat South. John F. Kennedy, shot dead in Dallas by Lee Harvey Oswald, a self-described Marxist communist. Bobby Kennedy, gunned down by Sirhan Sirhan, a radical with deep anti-Western left-wing grievances. MLK Jr., assassinated amid the turbulent politics of the Democrat-controlled South and its resistance to civil rights. Ronald Reagan nearly killed in 81 by John Hinckley, a guy steeped in the liberal cultural obsessions of time who did it to impress Jodie Foster. And then we've got 3 assassination attempts now on Donald Trump in recent years, all soaked in the nonstop threat to democracy hysteria pumped out by Democrats and the liberal media. One at the Butler rally, another at a golf course, and the latest at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, where shots rang out and Secret Service rushed him off stage. Of course, the Democrats are saying it was all staged, of course. How about Steve Scalise, the Republican whip, nearly murdered on a baseball field in 2017 by a Bernie supporter, a hardcore Democrat leftist who came to shoot Republicans. Charlie Kirk, assassinated execution style at a campus event in 2025 by a left-wing radical. We know, the furry. The United Healthcare CEO gunned down in Manhattan with bullets engraved, "Deny, defend, and depose," straight out of the Democrat-fueled class warfare rhetoric. How about the Weather Underground? The privileged far-left radicals, cheered by parts of the liberal establishment in the 1970s, bombed the U.S. Capitol, the Pentagon, and police stations while calling it peace. The riots expose the same Democrat legacy. Watson, 65, days of fire and death in a Democrat-run city. Rodney King in 92, over 50 dead, $1 billion in damage under Democrat leadership in Los Angeles. What about the Summer of Love? BLM and Antifa embraced and excused by Democrats across the country, turning cities into war zones with 24 dead, billions in damage, all while they called it mostly peaceful. Columbia University, pro-Hamas encampments backed by the radical left, building occupied, globalized the Intifada, chants with anti-Semitism so ugly that Jewish students needed security just to attend class. That's the modern Democrat idea of inclusion. And the one they sanitized the most, 69 million American babies aborted since Roe, a policy defended and expanded by Democrats for decades, lives ended, and all framed as compassion and progress. Look, both sides have their share of idiots, but one party, the Democrats, has spent decades marketing itself as the empathetic, enlightened, tolerant ones. The receipts are soaked in blood and ash, and maybe, just maybe, it's time we stop pretending otherwise. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, kind of hit that nail right on the head. And by the way, must I say, your morning videos that you do now, you look really, really sexy.
Well, thanks, Livy. I appreciate it.
I like the hair. Yep, pretty much.
Do you get a boner? That's great. That's, well, you know what? Sometimes, listen, she looks like this, but then if you just want something a little extra, folks, sometimes you just want that little extra and extraordinary.
What's the difference between extra and extraordinary?
Just a little bit of extra. Just a little bit of extra. Folks, share the video. Like, I'm sorry, I watch a lot of content that should have 50,000 likes. Like, that should be on every Republican's page right now. Make it happen, folks. Make it happen. But here is the video that I was talking about with Crowder. It's important because Crowder really crushes this. And what's nice is that when I don't have to do this work, and it's so good to see other content creators finally saying, Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, you people are just morons. And some of us got to see this before they started going absolutely crazy. Someone's a pretty damn good judge of character on the Don't Unfriend Me show, because we have been saying these type of things for quite a while. And it's not to hurt people. It's not to tear them down. It's that I don't want you to be deceived by anyone, including me. And my goal, Leroy's goal, Olivia's, Amy's, is to educate as much as we can in what's going on in the world today. Give you not a global perspective, but give you information so you may have a global perspective. You see what I'm saying? There's a difference. See, because that's all debate is, right? Debate is literally, okay, so here's debate. I put out a fact, and then you give me your appeal to emotion, and then I give you mine. That's what debate is. Debate is getting a fact and saying, I agree with that fact or I disagree with that fact. There's nothing factual about debate. It's literally just listening to somebody's perspective. I don't do that. I refuse to do it. You guys, you saw me with the what was the millennial, whatever? The Patriot?
Older millennial.
Older millennial. I refused to debate with him when it came to that. I would not. He's like, say it. Just say it. No, I will not. Because it's not. I've already stated the facts. You're doing an emotional platitude. I'm not going to do it. And whether it's Dusty Dinkelman or somebody who calls it on the show, it doesn't matter. I will not and refuse to get into perspective with people. Now, if you want to have that conversation, fine, but we're not going to pretend it's a debate, because that's not what it is. It's you with your opinion. You have no desire to change your mind. You will not change your mind. And you are just listening to my points so you can contradict them. That's not a conversation. So when I try to show something to you, it's because I want you to be able to disseminate, process this information on your own, challenge your thought process, and then have a global perspective that's based on facts, and leave the emotional stuff out of it unless it's called for. And when it's called for is when you're sitting around with a couple buddies having a few pops, when you're at the bar, or you're possibly having lunch with somebody, you just want to talk about random stuff. That's when you can get into emotional, like, oh my God, I just can't stand Donald Trump, or oh my God, I can't stand Hakeem Jeffries. That's different. But if we're going to do this show and we're going to do it in a conversation, it's got to be, okay, what are the facts? This is a fantastic laydown by Crowder that just lays out the facts. He's emotional, but it's factual. Listen to this.
All right, guys. See, I preempted. I did the sip tour. Welcome to the lineup.
See, I understand the sip. I tried to do those in videos. It doesn't work when you're recording yourself. I always feel like I'm looking stupid when I do it.
Live here on Rumble. Today we're going to be talking about the obvious. This is one of those days where I'll be honest with you. We always try to be honest with you, but I'm nervous as to how to communicate this, because I'm pretty pissed. And you remember when Charlie Kirk, the assassination happened, obviously we kind of let her rip. And I remember back then saying, the problem is not just this, but as we continued down that path and all the conspiracy theories came out and the bad actors, what's going to happen the next time? Well, thank God, no one who was targeted was killed, but we're at the next time. We're at the next time, and it's bad. And I'm going to talk about Mehdi Hassan. I'm going to go through everything that we know today with all the references as far as the shooter, the motivation, who was involved, what we know, what we don't know. And we don't know everything, but holy, dear God, the misinformation out there right now. And I can't tell you the difference between the Marxist right and those on the left. There's no horseshoe. They're the same people.
Yep.
And I can already hear people going, well, what are you going to do? Carry the water for the government? Hey, let me just walk you through this here a little bit as far as if you want to continue watching or not. I've been here for a long time. I was the guy who at the beginning of COVID said, no, I don't trust this. We were banned for it. Same thing with the election, going out to addresses that didn't exist. I don't believe the government narrative all the time. We have literally had leaks within the government and been subpoenaed by the DOJ, threatened by the FBI. That doesn't mean that going off with completely uncorroborated information, half-cocked for clicks, is somehow on the path of truth-telling, which is what I'm seeing out there. The misinformation based on this shooting, and not just bad actors, flat out liars. Look, Tyler Robinson was a radical leftist and shot Charlie Kirk. Do we know everything? No. Is it possible he didn't act alone? Of course. There's going to be a trial. And I hope that he fries. Cole Thomas Allen is a radical leftist, was a radical leftist, the man who shot up the White House Correspondents' Dinner. This should be a time right now, like COVID,
Bradley,
where the obvious is obvious and people start waking up. I never saw more people wake up
Thank you,
in my
Don
lifetime
Bradley.
than COVID going, wait a second, we were lied to. Wait a second, I thought that the right was this way and the left was looking out for me, and I realized that they were radical control freaks. That should be happening right now. Where people go, you know what? I thought that the right, they were the dangerous people. They were the extremists. But time after time after time, we see a really quick, easy line from the rhetoric, Nazi, fascist, danger to democracy, and people getting shot. It's that straightforward. There's more subtext. We'll get into it. Tyler Robinson, radical leftist. Cole Thomas Allen, radical leftist. The reason I have to be surrounded by security all the time, and I have been for years, radical leftists. We should be able to talk. Instead, you have bad actors deliberately keeping you misinformed for clicks. Go watch The Left is Violent, Changed My Mind. We did that after Charlie. It seems like a lot of people have forgotten. I log on, just whatever, watch CNN yesterday, wherever I go. I'm going, are you kidding me? I'm trying to get some information. Well, people write up, Israel did it. And they'll cite Google Analytics, and it's immediately, easily disproven. Doesn't mean that Israel had nothing to do with it. I can't tell you that. I can tell you the Google Analytics screenshot is bullshit, guys. Then on the flip side, Iran did it, same justification, and it's bullshit. Then you have people saying the Trump administration did it. Why? The Secret Service is on the take. Okay, what's the purpose there? Caroline Leavitt knew about it because she said there will be shots fired at a correspondence dinner, which is a glorified roast. By the way, this Marxist right?
Does this sound familiar? Is anyone like, oh my gosh, this really sounds familiar? I've heard all this before. In fact, I've been hearing this for 3, 4, 5, maybe 5.5 years from somebody slightly older but equally as good looking.
Better.
No, Crowdy's he's a good looking guy. I don't know. I think he's got that. I don't know, that thing. Good looking dude. It's interesting. It's interesting. We'll continue to listen to it, and all the conspiracy dorks will justify and go, oh no, this is the reason why it's the Jews.
They now say that this is the sign of the beast. Have you seen it? And by the way, millions of people believe this.
Idiots.
Tens of millions of people are buying this line of bullshit.
Idiots.
And saying you must. Oh, who's paid you if you don't think that this is the sign of the beast? If you don't think that Israel was involved with this shooting, if you don't think that Caroline Leavitt was in on it. And then that brings us to real people are affected by this. The widow of the last guy who was actually assassinated, Erica Kirk, people take this out to go, look, she's fake crying because she looked at a camera. I hate armchair psychologists as much as the next person. Everything's a narcissist. Everything's trauma. I would wager that someone who watched their husband be publicly, brutally assassinated, by the way, with an unbelievable amount of blood, the bad actors out there are hoping that you don't see the original tape, which I watched in real time too. I'm willing to bet that someone who's been through that and then is in a room with actual gunfire, probably a pretty traumatic event. And if I was walking through a hallway trying to get away from what could be an active shooter and someone had a camera in my face, I might glance at it too. Does that mean that Israel did it? Or I'm in cahoots with them? Also, learn your fucking time zones, people, Google Analytics experts. Didn't we learn from Candace Owens and the Egyptian plane thing? What's the other one? This is all staged to get a new ballroom? What? It's the first thing I thought when this happened. It's the logical conclusion. That's why they wanted to build a new ballroom. Stephen Miller used his wife as a human shield. This is what people are talking about.
JD Stillwell donate $20. I don't watch Crowder, but I know I don't. But now I don't have to. It's a replay of the dumb show.
This is funny. What people out there, and some people, millions of people, believe that Mossad is building something under the proposed ballroom. When we live in an actual era where there is a direct line from the left.
See, this is the thing. This is why I love Crowder, is because he's not afraid of losing clicks. He's gonna lose followers today. I know, because I do this every day, and I do it just like this, and I lose them. They don't want to hear this. They want to hear all the things that they believe are true, and nobody's lying to them. Everyone's lying to you, people. The ones who are not lying to you, the ones who are truly not lying to you, you'll know pretty quick. You know who doesn't lie? The chicks on the right. You know who doesn't lie? Crowder. You know who doesn't lie? We don't. You know who doesn't lie? Damani Felder. And there's other shows that don't lie. You want to know who lies? Candace. Tucker. The Hodge twins. Stu Peters. Nick Fuentes. Jake Shields. Dan Blazarian.
Now Sean Ryan.
Yeah, well, Sean Ryan is starting to go down that path. So is Megyn Kelly. I still have a tiny bit of hope that Sean Ryan's going to pull his head out of his ass. I don't have much faith in Megyn Kelly. Here's the rest.
Rhetoric, their calls to action, their worldview, and these attacks. Charlie Kirk, Donald Trump 1, 2, anyone in this space who...
Oh, yeah, Bongino doesn't. Oh, yeah, like I said, there's plenty that don't. Bongino for sure doesn't. Love Bongino. You know who doesn't also lie? Eric Erickson. I don't agree with Eric Erickson. You know who else doesn't really, I don't believe lies? Bill Maher. Bill Maher has a different perspective, but he doesn't lie.
No, because he talks about the truth. It might just be a different perspective on the truth.
Or it's something you don't want to hear. Mm-hmm. But Bill's pretty damn good at that. You know who also isn't a liar? John Fetterman isn't a liar. That guy just sticks to his morals. And Eli Crane sticks to his morals. There's people out there who do the following, but they are rare. They are few and far between. They're the exception to the rule.
Lives it, myself included. That should be the primary conversation while we collect facts.
Yeah, Dilly Meme Team, they don't lie either. Dilly's good. I like him. I want to get him on. Glenn Beck, that's a whole nother conversation. I've caught Glenn Beck in too many lies. I'm sorry. I understand why people like him. It's working? Good. Thanks, buddy. I like Glenn. I've always liked Glenn. I just think that Glenn, the Blaze is a rag of a reporting paper. And I've caught him in too many things that he's wrong about, and he doesn't walk it back. That's all. I'm not calling him a liar. I'm just saying he has no credibility as far as walking things back. That's the only thing. Dan Bongino is who I'm talking about.
And these Marxist right-wingers telling you to stay home, telling you there's no difference between the left or the right, they just keep screwing it up. And they're fostering and hoping that there is a low IQ base. That doesn't mean the American people at large. That means the people who without any...
Real quick, John Fetterman shouldn't have been a surprise because somebody told you that he was a moderate and that he was going to wipe the floor with Mohammed Oz, and he wasn't as bad as people were saying he was. There's only one place that was saying that. There's only one place. And the people who've watched this show know exactly where that place is.
Information gobble up the idea that Israel, Iran, Caroline Leavitt, or Erica Kirk had something to do with this because they saw a meme that can be fact-checked in 2 seconds. You can say whatever you want. That's the great era of social media, I guess. That's one of the pluses. Thank God for X. Thank God for Rumble. So don't misconstrue what I'm about to say as meaning you don't have the right to speak because people did that online too. What I am telling you is that you need to be responsible when real people are involved. Maybe just consider.
Yep. Shutting the fuck up.
Shutting the fuck up. Waiting 2 seconds.
Shit.
Not saying always. You can't talk, but just shut up and wait 2 seconds before you declare.
Ding, ding,
I
ding.
didn't know. I didn't know. Didn't watch the whole thing.
Yell to
I'll
the
take
world. A conclusion that not only cannot be substantiated, but can be immediately refuted. Because you know what the problem is? Millions of people go on believing that. They go on believing that. You still live in a world today from the last time that people peddled the bullcrap who believe that a 30-06 in no world can be used and not leave an exit wound.
Bullshit.
Tell that to MLK Jr. We covered it when it happened.
Bullshit.
Tell that to the ballistics. Does it mean that it's the most common? No.
No.
But the idea that everyone is a ballistics expert, the idea that everyone is an expert in body language and sign language and this used to mean, okay, the left used to say this was a white supremacy symbol. Now the Marxist right saying it's the sign of the beast. You want to know what the left needs to do to win? Nothing.
That's right.
Nothing.
That's right.
If you keep this up. Nothing at all.
Absolutely right.
Sit back and go, you know, we used to have to trot out. Remember that guy who got fired? I believe it was from, or was reprimanded from the Navy or Marines for doing this, playing that game. Remember we used to say it was a white supremacist symbol? They pushed. Well, guess what? The Marxist right is saying it's the sign of the beast. They're going to destroy each other. Remember how he used to plant some misinformation? Russia, Russia, Russia. Israel this, Israel that. Abraham hit me with a wiffle ball bat. Well, now they're doing it. They're saying Israel's going to build something under the ballroom, and that's what this is all about. It's a false flag. Just let them do what they do, and they're going to lose. And the country will be handed right back to us. How do I know? Because I talk with them. I'm in their circles. There isn't a leftist group out there where we don't have our fingers in that pot, monitoring the temperatures. The right movement right now is rightfully a laughingstock because of a few bad actors. You guys got to push back against them. Erica Kirk crying is a conspiracy?
Amen.
Are you shitting me? And I noticed that the people who push these, they sidestep the info. Oh, wait, was this person a known leftist? Yeah. For over a decade. They attend No Kings? Yeah. They have a manifesto? Yeah. Are they a teacher? Yeah. Were they mentally unstable? Yeah. Sidestep that because they can misread a Google Analytics trend and feed that to you. But it's a lot more valuable because it's exclusive. So they get your clicks. We got to do a whole lot better, and this needs to be shut down. Or I tell you what, you're not going to have a country to fight for, and more people are going to be dropping dead.
Yep.
Okay? Jeez, holy shit. All right, we'll talk about that more in all of the references. Everything we...
Best 5 minutes.
What an opening.
Best 5 minutes you could possibly see.
Haven't people heard of PTS?
Yeah, post-traumatic stress? Yes,
yeah, I'm going to assume that Erica might have a little bit.
No, you think? No, shit. I think she might didn't sleep last night, you know? Maybe she just didn't get a lot of rest. That's probably what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she's I don't know, she ran out of summer's eve, or maybe she didn't have the right tea this morning. You know, something like that. Something simple. I don't know what could possibly be bothering this lady besides having her husband's head literally snap back from a 30-06 going into his chest and out his neck, killing him instantly. No, that couldn't be it. Crowder crushed it. Like, I have nothing. It's like everything that I've been trying to say for 3.5, 4 years. There it is. There it is. It's just laid out for you in a beautiful little bow in 5 minutes. If you take the 3-minute show that I did today and you take that 5-minute show right there and you go ahead and put them both together, you have the problem with America today. The left and the right of the opposite sides of what true Republicans and Democrats are. People ask me, well, what's a Democrat? Define Democrat for me. Sure. Believes in free market capitalism. Believes in the collective rights of the people, which ultimately benefits the individual. They believe in a larger size government for the people. They believe in taxation as is an absolute staple and essential for revenue building and securing the infrastructure and the military might of the country. They're advocates of free speech. They do not believe in a single state solution. They do not believe in the government owning the means of production. That's what a Democrat is. And guess what? It's the absolute antithetical to what a socialist is. Yet they call themselves Democrat socialists. It's the dumbest thing. It's like saying that you're a black KKK member or that you're a man-loving lesbian. Liv?
Yes.
Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, and Cupid, and a man-loving lesbian are all in four corners of a street. You throw a $100 bill in the middle. Which one gets there first?
None of them, because none of them are real.
None of them, because they're all figments of your imagination. So right there is the answer. Somewhere in there. Because you have the right who realizes is that the left have something marketable, which is controlling their masses. And they're looking at NBC, CBS, ABC. They're looking at CNN, MSNBC, and they're going, how can these people be so stupid? How can they be so dumb to believe this liberal nonsense, this bullshit? What if we did it, but kept our monikers of being right and our tenets of being conservatives, are just the tenets of it, and played the exact same game? Could we monetize it? Could we make it grow? Could we turn it into something larger? Could we take the National Enquirer, the WWF and WWE, and kind of use that marketing ploy for things to be grandiose and unbelievable, and do what TPUSA does with some really big people with fireworks all saying the same thing, and large crowds and chants, and can we make and pull behind the curtain that the great and powerful Oz is controlling everything, which will be the Jews? Can we do this? Can we put this together? And the answer was yes. And Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson started all of this. And there were groups of people who tried. Steve Bannon tried to do this type of thing. Glenn Beck tried to do it. But nobody could do it to the size and scope of what Candace and Tucker did it. And now everybody is recreating their brand. Everyone's trying to get a piece of the market share. It's terrifying. It's terrifying that, and it's not that people are stupid. It's people are hungry. And they have their hooks so deeply embedded into them that they can't possibly rise up against the word of Tucker and Candace and Megan and the Hodge twins and Stu Peters and Nick Fuentes. Because if they do, that will admit the one single biggest failure of their existence is that they're wrong. And people can't admit that they're wrong. And that's what this is about. It's about ego. Yeah, Alex Jones is another one. It's about ego. Alex Jones has been completely surpassed by Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson. And Alex Jones was the biggest thing since sliced bread. But even he had some scruples and morals and standards that they don't. The only thing that Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson had to do was sell their souls and become demons. And they've gotten all the success.
According to Tucker, he was attacked by one, so.
That's it. They've sold their souls. They have sold congratulations on your success, you two. The only thing you had to do was sell your soul. More rhetoric from the left. Listen to this.
The left is not the only people doing this, and the right does just as much online.
You can understand why we're on edge as conservatives, though. 3 times the president, Steve Scalise, Brett Kavanaugh, Charlie Kirk. Heck, there was even a plot against Russ Vought the other day, who's the head of the Office of Management and Budget. I mean, conservatives are, I think, rightfully on edge because this keeps
Renee has a good question. Says, but why? I want to know why Candace and Tucker did it. Why? Because there was a very large share of people out there that absolutely were not getting the rhetoric they needed. And they were consuming it from Nick Fuentes. They were consuming it from Stu Peters. They were consuming it from Jake Shields, Dan Blazarian, these type of guys, Dave Smith, these anti-Jews. And Tucker realized that he could go ahead and corner Muslims and corner people who hated Jews, and this was in the millions of people. Candace did the same thing. They recognized where the money was. They recognized that they were continuing to fight for market share with other big-name shows like Joe Rogan, like Dan Bongino, like Megyn Kelly, like Piers Morgan. They're fighting these big shows, PPD. And instead of fighting those shows, they created a new audience. And they created an audience heavy of Muslim overseas people, bots, and Muslim accounts, and people who hated Jews, white nationalists, little Nick Fuentes, dipshit groypers. And that's what happened. Why do you think Nick Fuentes was brought on all those channels? Hodge twins, Candace, Tucker. Are you kidding me? He went on all of them. How did he get on there? It's simple. They want his audience. That's what this is about. It's about money and it's about clicks. And you know what? All I got to do is say I hate Jews. All I got to do is say Charlie wasn't killed by Tyler Robertson. All I got to do is turn on Trump and I'll get clicks too. And you know what? Not a fucking chance. Here's the rest of the rhetoric.
Happening over and over and over again, and people keep calling Donald Trump a Nazi, and they keep calling him a fascist, and they keep repeating lies about him that are not true, yet they keep getting repeated regarding Epstein and other things. I'm just telling you, as a conservative who lives in this every day, my friend was murdered last year. My president's had 3 assassination attempts. I have a knot in my stomach about it every day that I wake up.
Pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Bless you.
Thank you. You found that clip, right?
I did. Bless you.
What struck you about it? Sorry.
Yeah, I like Scott Jennings, and he usually has pretty good points.
He's good.
Whenever his videos pop up on that show, I usually stop and watch. And
He's
majority
smart-
of the
he's
time,
smart dude.
what he says is spot on. So I usually just save it for the show.
Yeah, he's smart. It's one of those things too. When I see his stuff, I just save it too. It's a good point. Good friend Renee says, but don't they know they are ruining our country? What's the use of having money if our country is gone? See, this is the thing, is they recognize that it won't ruin our country. See, it took me a long time to realize that Democrats doing all this damage or Republicans doing all this damage, I thought once we went to $5 trillion in debt, this country would go bankrupt. It'll never go bankrupt. This all has to be propped up. Economies are too grouped together. Sorry, I'm stuffy from allergies. Ugh. Horrible itchy nose. But I literally see Republicans screaming at each other on the floor with Democrats and then going out and having lobster lunches and salads at lunch. Would you ever go out to lunch with Hakeem Jeffries, Liv?
No.
Would you ever go out to lunch with AOC?
No.
I would.
I know you would. Just bring some duct tape so you don't have to listen to
Roofies.
talk.
Roofies.
You just stare at her from across the table.
No, because
And
when
those
she opens
dreamy brown eyes.
Oh, when she opens her mouth. No,
Well, that's why I
looks,
said bring some duct tape. So
she
you
looks
can
like a
cover her
horse
mouth.
when she talks. She's these giant teeth and these eyes. She looks like Mr. Ed. She's not pretty when she opens her mouth. It's when her mouth is closed. She's fantastic. If there's no sound on Facebook, leave and come back. There's sound. Trust me. I would never have lunch with these people. I would have lunch with Bernie Sanders, and then I would expect to pay for it all. But I would have lunch with Nancy Pelosi. But I would never have lunch with Rashid Tlaib. I would never have lunch with Chuck Schumer. I would never have lunch with Nader. I would never have lunch with these people. I'd never have lunch with Lindsey Graham. You're like, Matt, why Pelosi? Because that's an interview I want. That's an interview I want. I just don't understand. And these people rub shoulders together. So I realize that it won't ruin our country. Our country will continue to be corrupt. It'll continue to fall by the wayside. It'll continue to have this struggle. The thing is that there's no end to this. This is what will never end. The fighting and the divisiveness. Our country will never, ever come back. Nothing will. A nuke could go off in New York, and we will blame opposing sides. The Democrats will blame China, and the Republicans, they'll blame the Republicans, and Republicans will blame China and Russia or whoever it was, and there will be infighting, and then the question of why did Donald Trump fail? Why were 30 million people killed? There's nothing. If 9/11 happened today, people would support the Muslims. There would be marching in every city across the country celebrating what was done. Every single one of them would celebrate what was done.
Yeah, I don't think we have to worry about New York City. They're not going to go after New York City.
No, not when they have a Muslim in charge.
Exactly.
I have a knot in my stomach too all the time. I have to watch my back if I wear my red hat. It's bullshit. Yeah, listen, I understand where you're coming from. I really do. Cash Patel on the shooter. Here's some information. Folks, we're at $40. That's okay. We know everyone will help us and take care of it. I had one usual donor reach out and say that they're kind of tight right now and they're not able. Don't even worry about it. You don't need to tell us that. If you're in a position, take care of what you need to take care of. Okay? Here's Cash Patel diving in on the shooter.
I mean, just remind everyone, this was almost the entirety of the president's cabinet, the president and vice president himself, and 2,000 members of the media. This is something the movies don't even write about, something like this kind of scenario, this kind of tragedy. And thankfully, the quick reaction of law enforcement, we're going to be able to present to the world in less than 36 hours almost, exactly what happened. This individual's entire background, who he knew, where he lived, who he was talking to, everything about the firearms, everything about the ballistics.
If you guys look at that video right there, you can see where
he tripped. I was wondering what happened.
And Melania is underneath his feet. Because look, this lady in the white, Melania literally crawled out from underneath, and she's near the curtain, and they didn't see her and tripped. And then you can see Trump reaches over, and she's in the nestle of bodies. They get her up too, because you can see one of the agents is picking somebody else up, because Trump's overweight to the right. See his head? So who does she have? And it's Melania's in the middle of that. Here's the thing. Good comment. Don says, it wasn't this divided before Trump ran. I didn't like Clinton, nor did I like Obama, but I don't remember it ever being so toxic. It absolutely was toxic under Obama. It was insane under Obama. Don't you remember how he divided the police department from the people? Mm-hmm. Don't you remember? No one talked about defunding the police. That was Obama.
I think Obama started this whole
thing.
Yeah.
Well, racism's been around for a long time.
Well,
but
racism, the whole division of the parties and trying to divide America against.
No, basing on a racial identity, that was most assuredly Obama. It's the first time a leader has specifically said focus on racial identity in order to dignify your political beliefs. That's what he did. So I gotta itch my mustache and my nose. See, I'm doing it like this, so it looks like I'm doing, but I'm really itching my nose. Nobody can see it because my nose is itchy. This is my beard brush, and no, my nose isn't running. It's itchy.
So I got a question for you.
Yeah, go.
When it comes to manifestos, why do these people write this shit down? I don't get it. That's going to be used against you in your trial. Why? If I was going to do something, I'm not going to write it down in a diary.
He didn't expect to have a trial.
He expected to, yeah.
They can't hear you.
Yeah, got it. I know, but other people, I mean.
They didn't expect to go to a trial either. The Unabomber kept a manifesto because the Unabomber thought that he was right, and the Unabomber believed that his story needed to be told. The son of Sam kept a manifesto because he was fucking insane. This guy kept a manifesto because he didn't expect to live. And this guy was willing to trade his life. That was it. So you have to understand that these people have a high level of narcissism. They're very intelligent, but it doesn't mean they're not crazy. You can be crazy and be really, really smart at the same time. So
yeah, that's a good point.
So he had every intention of not coming back from that. Just the way it is. You had this video of a Iranian woman. Oh, by the way, folks, just real quick, donations. It's 8:00, and you'd be interested in donating to the show. You can, thedumbshow.com/donate. The store itself, Shopify has increased overall charges for the store. We're going to keep the store open, but it's been a little bit slow. So if you haven't had a chance, go on over to the store, take a look. Great shirts like the Veterans for Illegal shirt that we're wearing right now, or Olivia's Dumb Show shirt, the original 13.
This was my first shirt.
And they last forever. They're amazing, amazing shirts. We have great coffee over there. Go take a look. Prices are absolutely reasonable. You can save 10% by using code DUMB10. Thanks for doing that. But also donations help by going to thedumbshow.com/donate. We're a self-funded show. We're doing really well tonight. We've got 152 on General Pop.
Several. I've seen 4 new names in Rumble tonight, in Rumble chat.
Well, we got 110 people on Facebook, which is really, really good too. So it's nice to see. So do us a favor. If you want to help out the show, great. If not, don't worry about it. It's free. You don't have to pay for anything. We just appreciate it if you can help. The Iranian woman stands up. What is this about?
It's in one of those group settings where people are talking, and this Iranian woman just shuts this liberal woman down, and she's sick of the women on the left defending them when they don't want to be defended.
Right.
And they're defending them wrong. That's the thing. If you defended them correctly, I don't think they'd care, but you're defending them wrong.
Yeah. And one more thing about the manifesto really quick is, like I said, these people said, you know, they want to be martyrs, all that. Of course, all of those things. But these people aren't considering that they're going to come back. There's no way you're going to run into a thing full of Secret Servicemen with a handgun, with a shotgun, and a knife. Okay, what happens when he makes it into the room? What's he going to do? Live.
If he makes it into the room,
what's he going to do?
He's going to try and shoot as many people.
No, he's not going to try. If he makes it in the room, what's he going to do?
He's going to shoot people.
He's going to kill people. Then what's going to happen to him?
Yeah, they're going to kill him.
How quickly?
Fast.
Okay, so he knew he was going to die. If he made it, his ultimate goal was to make it to the room. If he made it to the room, he was going to murder everybody he could, kill as many people as possible, and then he was ultimately going to die because he was going to be lit up with bullets. So he knew that's what he meant. But what happened was he's a fucking retard. And he ran by. First of all, he has the wrong weapon for the job. To have a shotgun and that is fucking retarded. It's stupid. What should he have done? I'm not going to say anything, but what I'm saying is that you have densely grouped together police and Secret Service in one little area. Anybody who understands just about anything would know what to do in that situation. If you have densely grouped together police and Secret Service, who are the bulk of the protection and security, and they are all close together in one area, what to do. And once that happens, then you got free reign. Then you can go in, break into the room, and you can do whatever you wanted to do. And yes, Secret Service would rush in from the stage, and they would start firing, and the QRT team probably would come out and engage and kill. But at least you make it to the room. This guy was not as smart as they're trying to give him credit for. Sure, smart guy, but he doesn't know what he's doing. He has no idea about close quarter combat. He has no idea. One flashbang would have created such an easier time for him. 2 flashbangs. You walk in there and you pop 2 flashbangs, or you have a improvised explosive device. You're going to take out 40 guys, and then you have free reign to that room. I'm not trying to give anyone ideas. I'm just trying to tell you the Secret Service, they are lucky. What if this guy had full body armor? What if it was a Los Angeles bank robber, the trio that went in there with full body armor? What if this guy had full Kevlar mask, had an AR, had a 100-round mag? What would have happened?
He would have been able to kill a lot of people before they could have taken him down.
Yep. Stupid.
Yeah, we're lucky that he was stupid. Sandra Casey, thank you for the truth. No, thank you for your donation. We appreciate it.
And it's not, listen, I don't want anyone to be a success, but I'll tell you what, the Secret Service better wake the fuck up, because I broke it down for you why they screwed up. The president should have been out of that. Oh my God. The reaction time was horrendous. It was horrendous. And the fact that they didn't narrow that entryway, just a single table with a 6 foot wide. What are they doing? You put the magnetometer up there, and you put stanchions, and you put ropes, whatever you can to slow down. The fact that he could just beeline and run into that. And where's the K9? What the fuck are you doing there without a K9?
Good point.
You could send a fur missile after that. You want to run? Here you go, motherfucker. Take this. I'm sorry. Sorry for the language.
You're fired up tonight.
I'm sorry for the language. But where's the K9? They should have had at least 5 or 6 K9s there. They should be sniffing. Mello donate $51.99. Make sponsors great again. Thank you so much, Mel. We love you.
Mel.
But they should have had bomb sniffing dogs there. They should have had K9s there. The moment that someone was running, that dog would have been on that before any Secret Service, and he wouldn't have moved out of the way. That dog literally would have fur missiled his ass and went right for him and took his leg down and then went right for his throat. That's what you need. Renee says, might be a stupid question, but how did they not kill him? Well, the question is, was he wearing a flak vest? He had multiple knives, multiple guns, had a handgun, had a tactical shotgun. Could he have been wearing a vest? Yes, but here's the thing. People don't understand. When something's running away from you with a handgun, it's not easy to make that shot. Your heart's going, the adrenaline's going. They were kind of off balance. And he was moving pretty quick. It's like anyone who's done any shooting, go interact with a Texas Star, or go interact with a dolly horse, where 2 targets are moving like this. It's not easy, and it's not that Secret Service doesn't practice, but live situations are completely different than other situations. This
Hello,
is Matt.
Mel.
Hi, Mel. What's up?
Hello there.
What's up?
Hi there. Well, the failure started a couple of days or 3 days before. They didn't do screenings and whatever for check-ins. Yes, there are weddings and bar mitzvahs and blah, whatever.
Yep.
But if you have this kind of crowd that's coming in a couple or 3 days,
right?
Secret Service, FBI should have already been on it, and there should have already been screenings at the front desk, blah, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Before you even got to your room.
Right.
That's where it failed. And then with the paper tickets,
yep.
Like there were a couple of them who had, well, it was raining or whatever, or tickets got wet, they dissolved, and then they didn't even check some of them. They didn't check IDs.
Oh, yeah.
There was a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
There was a lot of crap at the beginning, but the last line of defense was the barrier for the whatever. The
there was no barrier, and the funny thing is Kennedy was there too, and I'm talking Kennedy, the co-host on the Five. Kennedy was like, listen, my friends and I were walking up and down. They didn't even have tickets. The fact that they had a civilian there who was there for book the room on April 6th, they should have been doing security checks. The forward advance team should have been there 30 days ahead of time. This Secret Service, first of all, the question is, what's the funding look like? Because you have to start asking yourself the question. Here's, you want to think about conspiracy theory. I want everyone to think about something. This is the way I think about things. And I want you to think down 100 yards down the road. Here it is.
I know what you're going to say.
Yeah. Why the fuck have they not funded Department of Homeland Security? Why have they found Secret Service?
Exactly.
Now you need to start investigating how the Democrats were involved. Because if you have them not funding DHS, Secret Service, why wouldn't they? Well, because now there's been an attack. So the question you have to ask yourself is, A, within 72 days, somebody made a plan, made an attack, or they took advantage of the Democrats because they knew they weren't funded, or B, somebody inside the Democratic Party is privy to this type of shit, and they're making decisions and directing the politicians so they can kill him. I listen, that a conspiracy theory, or is that what a good investigator and detective would do? Who had motive? Who had the power to do it? Who profited? Well, those three questions are what every detective asks in any homicide. So here's an attempted assassination. Those three questions I'm asking, and it's leading me right back to the Democrat lockdown.
100%. 100%.
I cannot believe I fucking said that on air. I cannot believe.
Like air traffic
I'm not suicidal.
It's like he wasn't suicidal. He really thought he was going to get out of it. Whatever.
I know. I'm saying I'm not suicidal. I can't believe I said that out loud. Liz, I think of that shit, but I don't say anything because I don't have any proof. But that's where my mind goes: is why would you not fund the Secret Service with a presidential campaign, with a presidential, with the actual president of the United States? What was the opportunity in Butler? What was the opportunity in Palm Beach? And what was the opportunity here? It was all Secret Service failures and blunders.
Yep.
And who funds that? Well, you got to ask yourself the question. It's a funding issue or it's a training issue, but both have to do with money. Training is all about money and all about repetition. If you don't have money, you don't get to train.
Here's the other thing. Majority of the Democrats refused to go and boycotted it.
Right.
I mean, it's conspiracy, but makes you wonder.
Very shocking, isn't that?
No, it's just something you need to ask yourself the question. Ask yourself the question: do I believe that many people could pull it off? No. But what I'm saying is what is more than likely true is the Democrats have not funded the DHS, not funded Secret Service, and people who want to hurt the president are recognizing this as a window and an opportunity due to lax coverage. I'm telling you, if this guy walked in and there was literally cameras everywhere, there was biometrics everywhere, there were drones in the air, there were dogs in the air, if there were multiple room checks, if there was Secret Service checkpoints on every floor of the hotel and every exit and egress, this fucking guy wouldn't have tried it. He was empowered. He even said it in his manifesto. I cannot believe the Secret Service is this lax. There's no presence. There's no defensive posture. There's no high-level militaristic or defensive security here. There's no OPSEC. This guy was emboldened by the lack of security, not intimidated by it.
Well, most definitely. But he also had, I would say, a little bit of help because he only got there the day before. He wouldn't have known at that time when he checked it, that the back stairs and whatever were not whatever. That was an egress point. There was a little whatever, and his sister works in DC, and she's kind of suspect too. Did a little bit of research on her, and I'm like, there's a few more moving pieces to this, but it's an absolute Democrat planned DHS failure because they're not funding, and they're trying to do the same thing they did with the air traffic controllers, the whole 9 yards. And these people are calling in sick. They're not going to whatever because they can't afford to feed themselves anymore. Like they have no money. They haven't been paid for months.
Well,
so
the thing is that this guy booked the hotel on April 6th, and he was in the hotel on the 24th.
Yeah.
So this guy had a chance to lay it out, look it out. I guarantee he was picked up on biometrics if they would have been in place 5, 6, 7, 8 times. Going to the food, going and getting ice, going down to the lobby and getting a soda, checking out the area. They would have seen him consistently, and he would have come up on every other radar known to man in any situation that was being done right. Because the moment that he's been seen 5 times in a period of time, biometrics are going to pick that up, and it's going to get spit back out to do a check on this guy. They would have had his name. They would have done a pre-qual check. They would have done an NCIC check on him. They would have done an Interpol check on him. All of this should have been done. What the first thing you do is you walk into the hotel manager and you say, I need to see everyone who is in attendance right now in this venue, and I need a list of all your employees right now. And then you run checks on all of them. I need your future reservations a week in advance, 2 weeks in advance, and 2 weeks prior. You do all of that as Secret Service. None of that shit was done. The forward advance team, they didn't fucking check mailboxes. They didn't secure lines of sight. They didn't have defensive maze systems in there for slowing down people with stanchions or security checkpoints. They didn't have drug sniffing dogs. They didn't have bomb sniffing dogs. They didn't have ones who could smell guns and Canaanite or fucking oil or whatever it is so they can check for firearms. None of that shit's been done. But I will tell you, I have been... Go ahead.
Yeah. The only thing is with this guy, there was no prior, so he wouldn't have been flagged in anybody's system. So he would have been a ghost.
No, he wouldn't have.
No,
he wouldn't have. Not a chance.
Well, I would
no. Hold on a second.
Let
me tell you that's not true. Not at all. I want to challenge that because somebody who did operational security, the person without a profile is going to be one of the people you flag first. Why is he there? You're gonna figure out. Hold on a second. You're gonna figure out his political affiliation right away, because they're gonna run an NCIC check. They're gonna run an Interpol check, but they're also gonna do a social media check. They're gonna do work history, employment, everything else. They're gonna see a California liberal, an activist, somebody who went to a No Kings protest, blah 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 blah, who took a train all the way across country and is all of a sudden in this hotel. He's gonna stand out like a fucking like Liberace in a straight man's festival.
Okay, I'm going to disagree a bit because if I was a tourist and do whatever and I wanted to go to Washington, D.C., whatever, and I like the train and I would get on a train because I prefer that rather than air. But yeah, you just have to
Mel, that's not true.
I just want to think.
Mel, you can disagree with me, but I'm just telling you right now, Secret Service protocol does not check and go, well, I would take a train and I would have a leisurely cruise and I would come from California. That's not what they're going to do. They're going to look at all his background history and they're going to say, okay, he has no criminal past. Boom. Hold on. He has no international. Okay, great. Now let's check his social media. Wait a second. This guy went to a No Kings protest. Wait a second. This guy is a Democrat socialist. Wait a second. This guy's spoken out avidly against Trump. Why is he here? Well, we're going to go find out because he's in this hotel and President Trump's going to be here. That's absolutely not the way the Secret Service works. The Secret Service works with the assumption that everybody in attendance wants to kill the President of the United States and they must be cleared before they're allowed in the building. That is the way the Secret Service process.
And that's what to me, in my head, that's the way it should be. But when you have a venue such as that, and then looking back at the Ronald Reagan, whatever, it's the same venue. And they've been doing this for a long time at the same venue. That whole plan, where they're food comes, the whatever, that's out there. Like that's been out there for like everybody knows.
Right.
And looking at like did they screen the employees? Did they screen like there's no like it's very suspect. Like I don't like a venue like that. Like it should have never happened. I know he wants to be that guy and just put himself out there, but things have got to change. And the first thing I thought of, like after it happened, was, oh, the first big tick in the box for the ballroom. And I agree with it. It's like it doesn't matter. It shouldn't be that the ballroom is just for White House, whatever. The ballroom is there to host whatever. Like right now, King Chucky and the Queen Consort, their horse face. They're going to be in a tent, and I'm like, yay, team! Like, doesn't that look marvelous?
Mel, I'm
like,
letting you know that Secret Service doctrine and operational security doctrine, everything that I just said is nothing new. A low end team of 4 to 8 guys are going to do those minimal things in advance. The forward advance team for the Secret Service is actually bigger than the ground team. They are a massive crew of like 300, and they have multiple forward advance teams. There are 7 or 8 teams working in conjunction ahead of events, staggered months in advance. This is lax security. This is people believing that overwhelming force or firepower can stop any threat. But I will tell you what, 4 guys with ARs could have went in there and this would have been a completely different story. You start.
And
so my point is it's like, I disagree with you. I know what you're saying. You're saying they should do it, but they didn't. Okay. That's not my argument. My argument is they should do it and they haven't done it, but that's the way it should be. Every single person in that hotel would have been interviewed by Secret Service. They would have been checked out. Their backgrounds would have been deeply investigated. How do I know this? Well, because I know several people in the Secret Service, but I also know because I've been to the White House, I've been on Air Force One, and I've been in other security situations where I have been properly and thoroughly checked multiple times throughout my career, even with my clearance, even with my stasis, even with an A security badge, which I had for 3.5 years in the Pentagon. So it does not matter. You are still vetted and checked by the Secret Service because everyone is a threat until they're checked off as clear. This didn't happen.
I agree. It didn't happen, and there were no barriers to stop it from happening, other than that last May and that little zippy thing that he ran through at Mach 12,000.
Yeah.
And because he's stupid and had a fucking shotgun. Like, really? A shotgun?
Right.
I'm like, really? But the thing is, and it would have been, I'm not going to say hilarious, but it would have been a really eye-opener if he had come in, locked and loaded with a bigger whatever, and taken out a whole bunch of those media people. And then you might have seen a little bit of more contrition than there like right now is, because I watched the one guy sitting there eating his salad and another lady eating her salad, and the other one's drinking the wine out of the bottle, and the other one's stealing wine off the tables, 2 or 3 bottles at a time.
Yeah, we're going to show those videos in a second. We're going to. All right, listen. Let me cut you loose. We got a lot. I love you. It's good dialogue as always. We're agreeing on the same points. We're just saying one is hopeful and one is procedural, right? Like they're not doing their jobs. We understand that. I love you. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, I love you.
All right, bye. Somebody said Tim Dion said Bongino brought up a good point about the fishbowl theory. Do you know what the fishbowl theory is, Liv?
I've actually never heard about that.
So there's a couple different versions of the fishbowl theory, but essentially what it comes to it, once something's out in the public light, there's no place to hide, right? A fishbowl is you can look 360 degrees, up, down, left, right. Op Arc Light, thank you for your subscription. The fishbowl theory also is that ultimately things will get thrown into all bunch of different ideas and everything else will be thrown into a fishbowl. And because the fishbowl is caved like this, essentially it all gets captured. And it all gets thrown in there. And it's really easy to look at it and say, oh, you should have done this, you should have done this, you should have done this. Folks, 3 minutes after the thing, I was saying these things. I'm not the only one. We're going to watch some videos that will talk to you about this. But Bongino's right, is that it's easy to critique after the fact, but none of this is emotional. These are standard things that you do. This is the President of the United States. I don't think you guys understand how advanced and detailed things are. These guys solder manhole covers for square blocks. They go ahead and take out post office boxes. These guys seal windows and tape off windows. These guys interview staffs of not just the building they're going to be in, but the 12 buildings around it. They run NCIC, Interpol checks. They run single background investigations. They start recording sometimes 2 to 3 months in advance on locations and doing biometrics, trying to find consistencies and inconsistencies, things that alarm or stand out. They go ahead and don't allow cars to park in certain areas and tow them out immediately. They go ahead and take license plates of cars that are there in redundancy. They watch patterns and behavioral patterns of people, of where they go to lunch, where they come back from, what moments of areas are high egress or where exfil can take place. They run the route. They run the actual parade route of where they're going to go. They run their exfil from the hotel or from the building that they're going to be in. They have multiple routes. They have blood going at several different hospitals. They have routes to every single hospital. These forward advance teams do all that shit. This is one of the most... Dude, you had the entire fucking cabinet in one room, folks. Do you guys understand in the State of the Union that there's a person who has to stand by, like the Department of Agriculture or the Transportation Secretary, so the line of succession stays alive in case the State of the Union gets hit by a nuke? Do you guys understand that most of his cabinet was in the room? Kash Patel was in there. Stephen Miller was in there. RFK was in there.
Hegseth was in there.
Hegseth was in there. Vice President was in there. The President was in there. The First Ladies were in there. Gang, this is a massive event, and you better make sure that you're using your brain here and going, how? Why did it take them 22 seconds to get him off that stage? Why did it take him a very similar amount of time to get him off the stage in Butler? You're telling me we haven't gotten better in 2 years when there has been 2 assassination attempts? Come on, man. Listen, I support the Secret Service, and I respect Dan Bongino's expertise, but I will tell you what. I slept at a Holiday Inn Express last night, and I'm questioning some things. I'm just saying. I really appreciate Mel's call. I agree everything she said in the sense that it's not happening. My point is, I'm not saying it did happen. I'm saying it should have. They couldn't expand the fishbowl because of the defunding. But Tim, that's not true. Tim, that's not true. The federal government. Okay, so like, will you please do me a favor? Will you look up how long the Secret Service is funded for me, please?
Mm-hmm.
Maria says, did they ever try to hit Joe or Obama? They had multiple threats, but there was no... I think there was one incident with Biden. You guys, the entire cabinet was in that room. It's just... What does it say?
It's a year-by-year thing. There's no fixed end date. It's approved by Congress year to year.
Are they funded right now? Congratulations, Dawn. First-time grandparent. Friday to a baby girl. We were over the moon. Congratulations.
They are not full funding because they're part of DHS.
But read the whole thing. It says not normally funded right now.
Yes, but normally funded. The Secret Service is part of the DHS. DHS funding expired in February 2026, triggering a partial shutdown. During that shutdown, agents like Secret Service continue operating, but without full funding.
Okay. So So, Tim, I stand corrected. So then that explains the lapse, and that explains that they should not have had this event. Because you're risking the president's life. Yeah, so I understand where Dan's coming from. But you understand that there were 300 agents there. I mean, dude, it doesn't cost money to put up stanchions. See, Tim, it is through 2027. They are funded through 2027. My point is that people think that funding stops. It's for the next previous year. They have funding now. To say that Secret Service doesn't have money to operate, I completely disagree with this. My point is the president's security is going to get paid no matter what. It's going to get paid. They had 300 agents there. There should have been a military presence. You should have had stanchions. You should have had slow choke points. None of that took place. It's insanity, dude. It's not a good system. All right, moving on. We got to move on. Folks, 101.99 is where we're at. We've got, is it ready for clock, Liv?
Yes, you can put the clock up.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to argue with people. I just want to tell you there's a lot of opportunity here, and it's easy to play Monday morning quarterback. And I also understand about the fishbowl theory. There's several different versions of the fishbowl theory, but in the end, what Dan's trying to say doesn't cost money, in my opinion. There's things that did not cost money that could have been done that would have stopped this guy from getting just canines. That's it, just dogs. That's it. He doesn't come with dogs. No human being is going to run into a dog. It's just not going to happen. Appreciate you, Timmy. Hi, you're on the Don't Unfriend Me show. What's your name?
Hey, Matt. How you doing?
I'm good. What's up?
This is Elizabeth.
I know who it is. What's up?
One of my students, whenever I was substituting today, made a good statement today.
Okay.
What he said is that because of all of what happened, he believes that there may have been a conspiracy or somebody that was trying to do it, and they knew about it to try to get their ideas off of the other stuff. And
the what?
What do you think about that?
I don't know what.
In other words, do you think that maybe the Secret Service or others may have set this up purposely, and therefore they did not rush to get things done because they knew what was going to happen?
So you're saying you're thinking it was a staged event?
That's what one of my students said, and that was quite thoughtful for me to consider.
Yeah, it's not for me. So you would have to consider that. Let me ask you a question. You're a teacher. Can you turn down your computer or something?
Yeah, just a second.
Yeah. You know, Elizabeth, you've called into the show 100 times. You know how this works. You got to turn down you got to turn down the show, or it feeds back.
Just 1 second. I'll get it down again.
Okay. But I'm going to ask you a question that's going to put this to bed right now. You're going to be like, "Oh my God, I can't believe I thought this." You ready?
Okay.
Okay. So here's the question. You're a teacher, yeah?
Yeah.
What have I told you? How big's your class?
It depends because I'm a substitute.
Just give me an estimate. Give me an estimate. How big's your class?
Say 20, 30 students.
Okay, we'll say 30. So out of that 30 students, how many people have an A average?
You said, and what was the question again?
An A. How many students out of 30 have A's?
There's not going to be, but about 2 or 3.
Okay, 2 or 3.
On
So
a bell curve.
how many have B's?
Probably about maybe 10.
Okay. How many C's?
That's where most of them's going to fall. So maybe about 15.
How many F's and D's?
Probably 2 F's. Maybe the rest would be D's.
Okay, cool. So you got about 7 D's and F's, about just a handful of B's and A's. It's about the same, and then the rest are C students. What if I told you this? You have to fire or you have to suspend and expel all your D's and F students But by doing so, you will move up your C's to B's and your B's to A's. So a group of people will have a better education, but some people will literally not have any education at all, and you're gonna expel them from your classroom. Does that sound good?
No, that's not okay.
Why?
Because you don't want to hurt.
No. What's your job? What's your job? What's your job?
To teach.
Yeah. And would that be teaching?
No.
Then why would you expect Secret Service not to Secret Servicing?
That's true. I can't believe that I even thought that was a worthwhile.
Have a good night. Love you.
Thanks, Elizabeth.
Bye. Okay, so there you go. That's how you take care of the situation. You're a teacher. Your commitment is to your students. As a Secret Service agent, you're risking your life. You are risking some weekends and some late nights and maybe a couple summer Saturdays, right? Your dedication is to your students, and you're not going to sacrifice those kids. So why would a Secret Service who puts his life on the line, whose entire role is to save their HVT, to save the VIP? They're the bodymen. They literally will trade their lives for the person they're protecting. How would you expect them to give up a few casualties for that? How could you say, oh, well, you know what? So I can get some A's and B's. Let's just go ahead and just remove all the D's and F's and our average will go up. You can't do that. No one's going to do that. No teacher's going to do that. No plumber is going to go ahead and say, you know what? I could save, 50% of my margin if I just fix stuff with duct tape and some spackle. And I know it's going to be bad in a year, but at least it fixed. No, nobody's going to do that because we have pride in our work and we do our jobs and we select our jobs. One is to provide an income for us. One is to become exceptional at it so we can advance and move forward. No Secret Service agent is going to go ahead and put the president in jeopardy for any reason. So that's it. And just because, sure, there might be 2, there might be 3, there might be 4. But the other 300 are going to recognize that that's agents doing something shitty and they're going to go after them. The one thing that you have to do to get in the Secret Service is you have to have an exemplary record of service in law enforcement in some way, shape, or form that shows that you are literally a team player. A person who absolutely thrives in team environments, a person who is learn leading out, a person who is all about team build and inspire. And if you're not that person, you don't get on the Secret Service. There is no lone wolves in the Secret Service. I appreciate the question from Elizabeth Hall. It's a good question, and I wasn't trying to shut her down. The point is there's too many people in the Secret Service with integrity to allow a few people even to do something remotely like this. This was not a staged event, folks. Why? Because your live rounds were fired, okay? Live rounds were fired near the President of the United States. That is fucking insane if you think that's staged. Oh, they're using blanks. You're an idiot, okay? You do me a favor and go have a healthy diet of Loch Ness Monster, Bigfoot, and the moon is made of cheese and go off. You want to talk about donations?
Yes, we are still at 101.99. You can donate at thedumbshow.com/donate. We are a self-funded show. We do not have any sponsors, and Facebook has pretty much cut about 90% of our funding. So you guys are how we keep the show going.
Right.
And keep it free, because we will never put up a paywall for you to come watch our show. But we want to be able to stay on. So we need help.
And unless she starts doing OnlyFans, we need you. Okay. And we're open to it. We just, all right, here's the Iranian woman.
Wants to see a menopausal middle-aged woman. You're married to me, so you kind of have to, but
I can turn the lights off.
Exactly.
Iranian woman stands up. We're finally getting back to this. Listen, I appreciate Elizabeth's question. My job is to help people connect the dots. She's too smart of a woman not to connect the dots herself. It's not a good question. Her kid, you just ask him the same thing. What if I could tell you is that 25% of you can all get A's and B's if we go ahead and expel the ones with D's and F's? No. Those are our friends. These are people who go to school with. We love these. Well, then why are you questioning Secret Service people of not doing the same thing, trading their morals, trading their integrity, trading their friendships, trading their lives, trading their families, trading the job that they hold dear for what? For what? Yeah, just doesn't make any sense. Here's the Iranian woman standing up.
us Iranians, you don't speak for us. I was born there. We are very happy with President Trump. We're very happy about what he...
There's many Iranians that are angry.
There's not many Iranians.
There is.
That's a lie. We are sick, us Iranian people. My half-sister lives there. My family lives there. We're sick of white liberals telling us about Iran and its people. We love Benjamin Netanyahu, and we love President Trump for what they did. They want to name cities after these people in Iran. So please don't speak for us. And what he did was strategic because with military operations, they have to have a structure and a plan. You don't go and do something and not know what you're doing. You have to have a plan. You have to have intelligence to know where to hit. So they don't hit places that have a lot of civilians. So you're thinking in a very irrational way, okay? He thinks in a very rational way. That's why he had, when he took down those nuclear facilities, not a single casualty, okay? It takes time to do that. Otherwise, you do kill a lot of civilians.
She don't look very happy about that.
No,
You
because
just got schooled.
somebody looks like an Iranian Persian and the other person doesn't.
I know when I first saw it, because I always just kind of scan through the videos when I can't actually watch them and see what looks interesting and then save them and then go back and watch them later when I can. Yeah. And I thought it was the other way around. The blonde lady was the liberal.
First thing I thought so too, but it's like I said, a very eclectic group of people, and Iran resembled Western civilization quite a bit, and they have all kinds. Here's Melania on Kimmel. You found this one too. We're going to start buzzing through these. But Melania Trump on Jimmy Kimmel. Did you hear what Kimmel said?
I heard a little bit. I didn't see the whole thing, but I did hear a snippet of what he said. Yeah.
So basically he was saying that Melania looked happy that she could possibly in the future.
Oh, she had that new widow glow.
Yep. This fucking guy, man. And Megyn Kelly. Oh, I'm going to watch this.
To fire Jimmy Kimmel. This appears to be in response to a segment that Kimmel aired days before the White House Correspondents' Dinner. In that segment, Kimmel said the First Lady had the glow.
Hey, everybody, real quick. Chuck went on vacation on a cruise, and I checked in with him, and then like a week ago, he said, yep, we're having fun. We're on the cruise. And I haven't heard from him, and I've texted him. If anybody hears from Chuck, please let me know. Make sure they're okay. Just worried about him. I know his health condition, and just worried about him. So if you haven't heard from him, please have him call me or let me know what's going on.
Of a, quote, expectant widow. And now we have this response. The First Lady writing on X the following, quote, Kimmel's hateful and violent rhetoric is intended to divide our country. His monologue about my family is not comedy. His words are corrosive and deepens the political sickness within America. It is time for ABC to take a stand. How many times will ABC's leadership enable Kimmel's atrocious behavior at the expense of our community, end quote. For the second time now in the past 2 weeks, the First Lady taking a public stand. A few weeks back, she made a statement asserting that the rumors about Jeffrey Epstein and connections to her were baseless. And now we have this response to Jimmy Kimmel, just in.
I like the fact that she's speaking up.
Me too.
And actually doing something now.
She needs to. But of course, remember what Megyn Kelly said about Candace and not saying anything about Candace is, hey, it's not, I'm not the moral police. I don't just say things about people randomly that I have no interest in. I'm too busy, and I don't know. Well, welcome to Megyn Kelly, who happens to want to say something about Jimmy Kimmel, of course, because it's safe, folks. Megyn Kelly's feckless. She is terrified to stand up against anybody except her friends like Ben Shapiro. Here it is.
ABC fired Chris Harrison from The Bachelor because a bachelorette on that show went to an antebellum party years earlier when she'd been a, young college student, and they thought that was racially insensitive. And all Chris Harrison said was, are we judging her by the standards of today or by the standards of when she did it? That's all he said. And ABC ruined him. He's never been heard from again. Have you seen Chris Harrison hosting some network show? No, his life was ruined. His career was ruined. But you can say this as Jimmy Kimmel, as like the face of ABC. You can say she's got the glow of an expectant widow about a husband who was almost killed at least once, and 2 other times attempts were obviously in the making. And now a 4th. Very ill-timed. Too bad for Jimmy. What are you going to do about it, ABC?
Nothing. And she's such a hypocrite.
She really is.
I mean,
I just,
come
it's
on.
almost like nails on a chalkboard when we listen to her now. I have what little respect I have left for her is slowly dwindling out the window.
Yeah, it's okay it's not okay to attack someone's character in Jimmy Kimmel, but you can do it if you're Candace Owens and it's Erica Kirk. You know what I mean? Like I don't agree with Jimmy Kimmel. I think Jimmy Kimmel should be fired, not because of what he said, because Jimmy Kimmel is a complete douche plow.
And he's not funny.
And
at all.
he absolutely broke the Hatch Act.
Horrible person.
Yep. And I believe he broke the law when he did that about the president. I think he just did it again. There are certain things that you don't say and you don't do, but I think he's bad for business. And I think if you're comparing it to the rest of the cancel culture, he should have been out a long time ago. But for Megyn Kelly to sit here and say, well, you don't go after someoe's character or their questions, you know, how could you possibly do that? Then why aren't you calling out Candace? She's so full of shit. She's a hypocrite. 101.99, folks, is where we're at. We're behind on donations, about $200. We've got about 17 minutes. This is interesting. This is Trump. President Trump talking about the Secret Service and defending the Secret Service. And once again, I want to say something. Even during the event, I said Secret Service stopped him, and that's important. They got him down. That's important. But it doesn't mean that there's not opportunity. The President of the United States is not going to throw the Secret Service under the bus. And the only example I can give you for Elizabeth Hall, let's say she calls and goes, well, Matt, why wouldn't he? Would you throw the teachers union under the bus? Okay. So he's not going to throw the Secret Service. Teacher union, make sure that you stay employed. If they strike, you strike. You're protected. You get yourself, what's it called? Tenure. So the union, whether you agree with them or not, you're going to back up the union. Well, I have a feeling that because President Trump is protected by these people, these men and women, you're not going to talk shit about them. But here is President Trump.
The other thing in the manifesto that I think is worth looking at in terms of determining his motive is he had been staying at the hotel since Friday. He checked in, he said he had cased the place, and he wrote, "What the hell is the Secret Service doing?" And he wrote this quote, "I expected security cameras at every bend, bugged hotel rooms, armed agents every 10 feet, metal detectors out the wazoo. What I got is nothing." He wrote, like, this level of incompetence is insane. Sir, you have already had 2 attempted...
Well, he was pretty incompetent, too, because he got caught. And he got caught pretty easily. So I'd say he was pretty incompetent, too. You know, I could take any event having to do with security or anything else. I can always find fault. Those guys did a good job last night. They did a really good job.
I mention that because, again, as his motive, you brought this up, he had social media accounts that had anti-Trump and anti-Christian rhetoric.
You should read. Why don't you read all the anti-Trump? Why don't you read it? You just did, so why don't you read it?
Well, he had a lot of anti-Christian rhetoric. He was part of a group called the Wide Awakes. He had attended a No Kings protest in California.
No Kings.
Yeah. What did security tell you about?
Trump is so good.
He just like, here you go. I'm just shoveling in the hole. Just jump right in. He just baited her in.
Yep, because he's so good. And he knows this lady, you'll see the next video in a second, which helps you understand because she read some really scathing shit about him before this question. And then she stopped, which shows that she was like, oh, this is bad judgment if I do this again. You should have thought of that before. Sitting there and insinuating the president of the United States is a pedophile and a rapist, and then having the audacity to be like, oh, do you really think he was talking about you? You'll hear it in a second.
What may have been his motives.
The reason you have people like that is you have people doing no kings. I'm not a king. What I am, if I was a king, I wouldn't be dealing with you.
So here's why he was pissed at her.
Look at her face.
I would love to interview President Trump and just his manner, just the way he processes things. Watch this.
The so-called manifesto is a stunning thing to read, Mr. President. He appears to reference a motive in it. He writes this quote, administration officials, they are targets. And he also wrote this, I am no longer willing to permit a pedophile, rapist, and traitor to coat my hands with his crimes. What's your reaction to that?
Well, I was waiting for you.
So, do you recognize his eyes right there?
He looks off to the side.
No, he doesn't look off to the side. You're the camera. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
That's your perspective.
Okay.
So, you're the camera. Now tell me where his eyes go.
Coat my hands with his crimes.
To the camera.
Right, to you. And he looks at the audience. So that was on purpose. There's two things he's probably, one or two I wish I could interview him. But my opinion is he's checking two things. Is the red light on? That it's recording? I don't think that's it. I think he's looking at the audience and he's breaking the fourth wall. Or the third, what is it, third wall?
I don't know.
Third wall.
Maybe it is the fourth wall.
It's the fourth wall. It doesn't matter. He's breaking the wall between you and him. Watch it again.
What's your rapist and traitor to coat my hands with his crimes? What's your reaction to that?
Well, I was waiting for you to read that because I knew you would, because you're horrible people. Horrible people. Yeah, he did write that. I'm not a rapist. I didn't rape anybody.
Do you think he was referring to you?
Excuse me. I'm not a pedophile. You read that crap from some sick person. I got associated with all stuff that has nothing to do with me. I was totally exonerated. Your friends on the other side of the plate are the ones that were involved with, let's say, Epstein or other things. But I said to myself, I'll do this interview and they'll probably, I read the manifesto, he's a sick person, but you should be ashamed of yourself reading that because I'm not any of those things.
Mr. President,
and I
these
was
are
never,
the gunman's words.
Excuse me.
I love how
You shouldn't be reading that on 60 Minutes. You're a disgrace. But go ahead, let's finish the interview.
The other thing that he wrote in
You're disgraceful.
Brian Reed, love your show. Keep speaking the truth. Thank you so much. I think that's
new donor, $50.
Yep,
appreciate
it. Thank
Vicky
you so
Fugue.
much.
Is that?
Yes.
Is that?
Yes.
That's governor's wife?
Yep. I thought you called him mayor.
No, he's the governor now.
Oh.
I've increased his exposure.
Yes.
Mayor,
That is.
Mayor's
Hi,
on video.
Vicky.
Hi, Vicky. That is Vicky. I love the way he slam dunked her. She is so demo slanted and always been. He verbally put her in her place about time. Tell John hello. We love John. John's a good friend of the show. Vicky, wonderful to have you here. We love John. I love seeing him. I think I shocked him because I came in the day after the election, and I was a little angry. And I said, you know what? I'm so sick of people with peanut allergies, and it's really pissed. And I'm like, I kind of just want to put peanuts in all the food. And he's looking at me like, holy crap. John's a good guy. Your thoughts on this chick? I mean, do you think she felt bad because the second time she kind of stopped and thought about it? At least she took the feedback, right?
I don't think she felt bad. I think she felt embarrassed that she got called out by the president. And
because you essentially just like repeated and said that he's a pedophile and a rapist. I mean,
yeah. So I think
ridiculous.
she's more. I don't think you working for the mainstream media. I don't think you have a soul, and I don't think you have any feelings when it comes to that.
Like a cab driver.
I
cab
think
drivers don't have souls either.
I think you have embarrassment and shame, but that's about all you feel.
That's fair. I think that's completely fair.
So
cab drivers and lawyers and reporters, no souls, no souls. Drunk reporters stealing wine and maybe some Cabernet, some Merlot, and Dom Perignon champagne. What the hell? Watch this.
Tragically, we've covered shootings, we've covered all sorts of scary and terrible events, but it's not often where you have a loved one next to you in that moment, and you're also
oh my gosh, it's hilarious.
So they're stealing table silverware and shit.
I don't know. I'm wondering if people said you could just take it. I don't know.
No.
I wonder how expensive that.
I mean,
stuff
would
is.
you find yourself ever doing that?
No.
Like, you're just like, oh, hey.
No, like, I mean, I've been to a wedding before where they're like, just, we just want to get, and I've taken stuff, but I was told to. But going to an event like that, unless it was specifically said, if there's any extra, you can take it, I would not. But I mean, something tells me that was not the case, and they just, with all the craziness, they just felt like they could take it. And
well, like I would take some peanuts, and like I would take a memento of the situation, like a napkin or whatever. But I'm not going to start stealing,
$1,000 bottle of champagne.
Right. Oh, yeah, it's stupid. What a bunch of dumb hookers. Sorry. And it's hilarious is that the press did this. I mean, they're the ones who talk all this shit. Lois Bentley donating $20. Thank you, Lois. Love you. They're the ones that cause this. They're the ones that start this. They're the ones who are constantly feeding this machine. We talked about it today in the segment we did. And not only are they going to go ahead and put Trump in jeopardy by their rhetoric, but they're going to steal shit from the table from each other. You think the people in the press who actually are there would be like, you know what? Maybe we should calm it down. As far as Jimmy Kimmel being fired, I have not heard anything. No,
it's not going to happen.
Well, it's not necessarily true. The president's called for it. Their stock just dropped like a shit ton today. Disney. So the president called for it. Melania Trump called for it. We'll see how much pressure they get, and if ratings drop, they may do it this time. I think they should. I think, listen, he wants Trump dead. And Adam Carolla says that Jimmy Kimmel is the nicest, kindest, sweetest man he's ever met. But you don't know that because you don't know him. You know the persona. But I trust Adam Carolla, and he's like, Jimmy Kimmel is a lot like Trump. He's actually loving. He's caring. He's got a bad reputation. People don't like him, but he's actually a decent human being. You don't know what he does outside. And he started saying some of these things. He's like, I don't know what's wrong with Jimmy when it comes to Trump. But Bill Maher was the same way. I'm not making excuses. I think you should have freedom of speech, but calling, especially after what happened to Erica and Charlie, to sit there and say that about Melania Trump, you are slandering. It's libel and slander. That's all it is. And it's ridiculous. It's not funny. It's not a joke. It's personal. And honestly, I think that's why you take him out.
Yeah.
Then there was this woman. Okay, so here's the other thing. You're going to watch the woman charging the Trump's motorcade. I want to know why the Beast is not doing. Do you guys understand that the Beast has a NASCAR engine in it?
Yes, you've told
me.
The
Beast is the limo. It's got a NASCAR engine in it. Specially made tires for that thing. And that thing can do some serious speed. Why is it not going 180 miles an hour? Watch this.
No, man!
Should have shot her. Shoot her. Shoot these people. Like, yes. Wait, Matt, are you saying you should shoot people? Yes.
Stupid ones.
She's wearing a keffiyeh. She's rushing towards the Beast. The president was just attacked. Shoot her. Not only shoot her multiple times, and then point your guns at anyone else on that barricade and say, if any one of you fucking jump this barricade, we're going to kill you. Enough. She is a threat. Why is she standing? Why aren't there Secret Service there? Where are the motorcycle cops? Where are the additional Secret Service vehicles? Where's the chase man? Where's the traffic? Where's the traffic east and west side, north and south side? There's no presence. Why isn't the Beast doing 95 down that road?
Stay behind the perimeter. Do not cross the gate.
All right, don't go. Oh, I'm locked up. Good. Hey, you guys.
Yes.
Back up.
Shoot her.
You're not listening. Literally, there was fucking shots inside. Are you okay? I literally worked for a legal nonprofit for over a year. I've been focused on the impeachment and removal of Donald Trump. And right now, I'm a digital organizer, just like so many organizers.
You're an idiot.
That was a 5-minute video, and it could have been ended in 5 seconds if you just would have shot her. So, Matt, are you calling? Yes. No, I'm not. I'm not being hyperbolic. Shoot her where she stands.
You rush the president, you should get shot.
You're dead. It'll never happen again. Or the person who is doing it has the intent to kill the president, and you kill them too. If it happens again, then you know. Because these people, this is not free speech. You broke a barricade, you rushed the vehicle, that is a threat. Let me ask you a question. Olivia, you're walking in DC.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, somebody jumps a VIP line into a club, and you're walking across the street with Hayden, and they start running at you. What are you going to do?
I'm going to get out of there as fast as possible.
And you're going to protect Hayden, right?
Yes, I am.
Correct. And if I'm there, well, we're not going to be carrying, but I'm going to step in front of you, and by all means possible, I'm going to try to stop that person from coming. They're a threat. The president of the United States, you have police presence there. There are barricades there. You have no, it's just like J6. Sorry, folks, with Ashley Babbitt. I don't care. I'm going to say it. Dude, she broke into a secure area she was not allowed to be in. That was the last line of defense. That's why they had 40 chairs backed up. That's why they had the doors locked. That's why they had 3 guards there. That's why they had armed pistols and people were pointing weapons at people, because that was the bridge too far. That Gandalf, thou shalt not pass. And she did. And she got shot for it. Now, was that the right thing to do? I don't know. I don't care. But all I know is that is not, they're not there to protect and to serve. They're there to protect. And their HVTs, their VIPs are more important than anyone else. And their job is to protect them with their lives and to take a life if it crosses into that area. That's it. I don't care. I don't care. Ashley Babbitt was just as dumb as that girl. Don't care. I understand she was a veteran. I understand she was duped. I understand. But guess what? I wasn't there. Olivia wasn't there. I was just as mad about the election, and so were you. And you weren't there.
And we could have been, because we live in the area.
Shoot her. That's it. And you know what? They would be 100% justified. Lethal force. Because how do you know she doesn't have a bomb? How do you know she doesn't have she's wearing a kafaya. The first thing I would do is assume she's ready to clack a vest. And the people who are overseas know what those things are. That's it. It's not here to bag on Ashley Babbitt. I'm just trying to tell you, very similar situation. You're in no man's land. Those people, Secret Service, are there to defend the president of the United States. The people inside the Capitol that day were there to protect those senators and legislators. Whether you think they deserved it or not is immaterial. The point is that she was a threat. Oh, she was unarmed. I don't give a shit. So's that lady, and she should be shot too. Sorry. When I stand at my post as military man, I've got my orders. You are not to encroach upon this area, and if you do, you will be given a verbal warning, and then after that, you will be put down ceremoniously. That's it. There's no contract. There's no conversation. There's no, oh, well, the person was nice, or, oh, that person wasn't armed. I don't care. My job is I am to protect my post, and if you encroach upon it, you're going to suffer the consequence by the authority invested in me to defend this area. Same thing for military. Anybody who's been on watch, kill order, anyone comes to the base. You think that a pickup truck, a technical that pulls up in front of a forward operating base, that we're not literally trading 249s and 50s on that son of a bitch? Every single person is. Every person armed is ready to take out that vehicle. Why? Because it's a threat. That's it.
I agree.
It's not complicated, folks.
I agree.
SPLC history. Here's some history. Folks, we are $130 down. Olivia and I really want to jump off, and we're going to be out here in 10 minutes. So we're $130 short. Really like to try to hit it. Would appreciate it if we could. Maybe you guys can help us out. That would mean a great deal. SPLC history. Here it is.
40 years ago, the Southern Poverty Law Center bankrupted the Klan and later recovered millions from neo-Nazi groups, with lawsuits representing victims of violence. But Tuesday, the tables turned. The Justice Department charged the organization with fraud for allegedly misleading donors and lying to financial institutions by paying members of violent extremist groups millions of dollars to act as informants.
The SPLC was not dismantling these groups.
It was instead manufacturing the extremism it purports to oppose by paying sources to stoke racial hatred.
Including the indictment alleges a leader of the 2017 Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville, Virginia, who, quote, attended the event at the direction of SPLC, made racist postings under the supervision of the SPLC, and helped coordinate transportation to the event for several attendees. But Law Center interim president Brian Fair said the group had long used informants and called the indictment a political attack by the Trump administration.
They have made no secret of who they want to protect and who they want to destroy.
You have to wonder if this...
Attorney Scott Frederickson questioned the Justice Department's legal theories.
Can the federal government persuade a jury that the Southern Poverty Law Center was out there funding extremism for its own purposes, manufacturing racism? That's hard to believe. Obviously, they'll have their day in court.
But there have been calls to investigate the Law Center for years. In 1995, the Montgomery Advertiser was the finalist for the Pulitzer Prize for articles alleging that the center was misleading donors and wasting their money. And more recently, critics say that its hate watch list of extremists includes many mainstream conservatives. Tony?
Jan, I can't wait for this court case. Real quick, someone says, Matt, who do you want the Avs to play in the second round? An NHL team. An NHL team. Don't care. I don't care. I the problem is that when you get the team that you think you want, you get everything that you don't want. And I would have told you last year I was fine with Dallas and we lost. And everyone's like, oh, Dallas kicked the Avs ass. No, they didn't. We went to game 7. It was 1 goal. They got 2 power plays within 10 minutes. The Avs sat back and thought they could hold a 2-minute lead. They failed. They were wrong. The Avs are not going to make that mistake this year. Bring on Dallas. I don't give a fuck. Bring on anybody. Who cares? I think we're the best team in the NHL by far. I don't think there's anybody who can beat us in 7 games. Nobody. And it's not personal. I know that this is really going to be this year and next year is their last shot for a cup. And these guys they're all in their prime. Cale Makar's in his prime. McKinnon's in his prime. Landeskog's slightly out of his prime. You've got Natchez. You've got Brock Nelson. You got Kadri. You got a great defense. You got amazing goaltending. 2 best goaltenders in the league right now. The Avs want the cup. Their power play looked really good last night. I think they're going to be fine. I don't care who we play. Somebody said, Ashley Babbitt, what's up? What's messed up, though? What's messed up is I remember Capitol Police on the same side of barricade as Ashley. Instead of restraining her, they backed away to let her climb the barricade. That's not what happened. So there's two angles of this. There's the downstairs well angle, and then there's one to the left. If you listen to the one on the left, there's 3 guards there, and they're blocking it. There's chairs propped up against the barricades. The barricade emergency exit doors are locked, and it specifically is wire mesh. It's a no man's land. You're not to pass. It's a secure area. Those 3 guards were being threatened constantly. Guys were bashing and slamming their helmets, and they were saying specifically, "We're not here for you. Get out of the way. You need to leave, because if you don't, we can't protect you. We're not here for you, but man, we're going to fucking break this down. We're going in. We're going in." And these 3 guards were relieved, and there was a QRF team coming in, full tactical gear. They were walking up the stairs. When those 3 guys were called off and they started walking down the stairs is when Ashley Babbitt went in. A guy was smashing it with a motorcycle helmet. She pulled him to the side and climbed through the window and then was shot. There was nobody there to stop her. Once she was shot, the QRT team came in and they started to supply resuscitation and medical treatment to her. But by that time, she was going to be gone. I've got the full video. The angle that I show, people go, "Oh my God, I've never seen this." And I'm like, I know. I've never heard these things. I know. Because Fox doesn't show it, and the mainstream media that you don't watch does. But I've went through this religiously. Melanie says 7-0. What's 7-0?
Oh, she's watching her grandsons play ball now.
Good.
And one of them's pitching and one of them's catching. So
Tim says they played their best game last night. I disagree. Nope, I disagree. I thought their best game was game 1 and game 2. And game 3 was pretty good too. Honestly, the Avs are a defensive force. They hit 5 posts in game 3. 5 posts. That game easily could have been 7-2, 7-1. Games 1 and 2, they hit 3 posts. They had a goal called back. That could have been the Avs. Offense wasn't the problem. Their defense was so damn good, and Wedgie was incredible. They forced all play to the outside. All shots that came out from the Kings were not in front of the net. Any ones that were, they were open. There was no eyes taken away from Wedgie. He stood tall. He absorbed everything. Folks, we are desperately in need of donations. Thank you. Never mind. Frank Wood, $150. Frankie, I love you. Gosh darn it, I love you. For my youngest son who I lost this weekend, please pray for my family.
Frank.
Oh, Frankie.
Makes me sad. Frank, if you need anything, call us, please.
Frank, I'm so sorry.
You know our number.
I can't imagine what you're thinking, bro. I can't imagine what you're thinking. I'm so sorry, Frank. Oh, I totally just fucked up my night. Yeah, that's my biggest fear, is losing a kid. Huh. I don't want to do that. Yeah, I don't want to do that. That's horrible. I'm sorry. It's horrible. All right, I'm just going to do a couple more, and then we're going to go. Here's a video on Harris Faulkner, and it's fantastic. Frank, God bless, man. Just if you need anything, call. We're here. Just pick up the phone. You know my number. Last one, and then we're going to go. We're going to call it a night. Harris Faulkner goes off, and this is good because I really like Harris Faulkner. I think she is a beautiful, smart, intelligent woman.
Class act.
Didn't Ashley's husband sue the police department and win? Certainly not criminally. Civilly? Yeah. Civilly. Listen, civil trial, 73% of civil lawsuits go in the form of the plaintiff. It's the preponderance of evidence is very small. They have a wrongful death suit. She wasn't armed. And the government is going to pay that out. She has a wrongful death suit. Of course she does. She was killed by police and she was unarmed. But that doesn't matter. She was trespassing in an area which they were specifically warned not to enter. And if I go walk into a military base and I run into I'm going to get killed. If I go to the Rocky Flats, I'm going to get killed. If you go break into a bank, you're going to get shot. Yeah, you're going to get shot. It's a secure area. You don't go into it. They said don't go into it. They did. They got shot. That's just the way it works. I'm sorry. I look at it from a law enforcement standpoint, a military standpoint. I'm going to defend my post. That's it. Here's Harris Faulkner. This is a really good one. Then we're going to get the hell out of here.
Governor Tim Walz, Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, just a few of the Democrats who put out statements condemning political violence after the shooting. They say it is far too pervasive and has no place in America. Yet, we've heard this from those very Dems.
Is Donald Trump an existential threat to democracy? He is an existential threat to democracy.
The former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Mark Milley, said, "No one has ever been more dangerous to this country than Donald Trump, and he is a fascist to his core." Let that sink in, and don't be a damn bit afraid of saying it, because that's exactly who he is.
An authoritarian, criminal presidency fueled by corruption and bigotry and an ascendant right-wing extremist movement. We will send a loud message to President Donald Trump that his authoritarianism is no good here.
Wow. Can you imagine any other country on this planet that has as much freedom of speech as we do in America? Just look at that and look at the hate. But still, we go forward as a nation. Some in the party, though, are taking a stand, a strong one. One Democrat congresswoman posted, quote, "Please stop trying to murder the president." Jason.
Yeah, it's pretty powerful. Any thoughts on that?
They're a bunch of hypocrites. And that's who they have been since they've been in politics. And anyone with the D in front of their name or behind their name or whatever it is, they're all hypocrites. They accuse other people of what they are doing to mask what they are doing.
I'm going to take quick final word. Grab me here.
Yes.
Take it. Here, we won't do that because I got to take my hat off. You got it. Ooh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's okay. All right. Dear Lord, I want to say a prayer for our good friend, Frank Wood, a huge supporter of the show and such a kind human being. I don't think Frank has an evil bone in his body, at least from what I've interacted. He's always so loving, caring, even just a sign of impropriety or sign that he possibly could have offended anyone on the show, he immediately apologizes, and just such an affable human being. And we've grown very fond of him. And his son is with you tonight, I believe. Son, I hope it's son.
Yes.
Is with you tonight. And we would ask that you watch over him. We know he's in a better place now. We know he's under your love and your guidance and your protection. But Frank needs you now as well. And it's tough on this mortal coil. And as you know, sending your son to us to die for our sins, Frank feels probably just as bad as you did at the time. And we would ask that you provide as much grace and as much comfort as you can in his time of need. And just know that we're all praying for him. And we want you to be there for him as well. We appreciate you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
That's all I got. Love you, Frankie. Libby?
Yep. We love you, Frank. And if you need anything, call us, email us.
Yeah.
We're here for you, buddy.
Anything at all. Anything we can do, please let us know. Thank you for everyone hitting goal. Thank you for your help. May 1st, Imani Felder. May 7th, Jeremy Mitchell. May 15th, T.S. Dixon will be here. Ryan Weaver on May 26th.
Damani Felder will be in that first Friday in June.
Yep. June 11th, Ryan Samuels. And 19th, Dave Bondi. Olivia's working on some other very big shows. And where are they going to be?
Lara Logan will be last week of June or first week of July. Also, the Grassroots podcast just reached out. So, and then got a few others we're working on. So probably I'm going to reach out to Lisa Regina to see if she would like to come back and talk about her
that'll be fun.
New project she's working on. So
I'm really looking forward to Chicks on the Right and Laura Logan.
Yes.
Laura Logan especially. I
Yes.
really want to talk to her. All right, folks. God bless. Thank you. Everyone say a little prayer for Frank. Reach out to him if he needs anything. He's a quiet man. He's not going to be saying anything, but I know he's listening. Also, if you guys hear from Chuck Peterson, please tell him we love him and we're looking to talk to him. We're not sure he's on vacation, but miss him and just wanted to see how he is. Talk to you all soon. See you tomorrow night. God bless. It's going to be Leroy and I. Yes?
Yes.
All right. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Night, y'all.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.